Good morning, grade 9. How are you doing today? I hope you are fine. Today's lesson, we're going to continue revising algebra. We're going to review and revise the radical functions. So let's go to chapter 5, lesson 7. And let's open page 368 and review together the transformations of square roots parent function. Transformations that I have are vertical and horizontal translation, vertical and horizontal stretch and compression, vertical and horizontal reflection. How I can differentiate between each one. For the vertical translation and horizontal translation, I have first vertical translation, f of x plus k, f of the function plus k. If k is positive, so the translation is up. If k is negative, so the translation is down. Horizontal translation. Here I have f of, not the function, f of all x minus h. The original function here, or the original equation here, is negative. So the value of h will be opposite of the sign that is given in the equation. The value of h will be opposite of the sign that is given in the equation. So if h is positive, so it will be horizontal translation to the right. If h is negative, so it will be horizontal translation to the left. And I want to remind you that h takes the sign of inverse or opposite of the sign that it is in the equation. Vertical stretch or compression. If a number is multiplied by the whole function, number is multiplied by the whole function, like a, if a is greater than 1, I will not say positive or negative, no, I will say if a is greater than 1, so it is vertical stretch. If a is less than 1, so it is vertical compression. This is about the vertical stretch or compression. Horizontal stretch or compression is a little bit different. It is f multiplied by x. The function f multiplied by x, not a number multiplied by the whole function. No, a number is multiplied by x. If the number that is multiplied by x is a fraction like 1 over 5, so the factor is 5. It is the inverse of it. If it is 1 over 5, so the factor is 5. If the number is 3, so the factor is 1 over 3. Here is for the horizontal stretch or compression only. If the number that is multiplied by x under the radical symbol, the number that is multiplied by x under the radical symbol is 1 over 5, so the factor is 5, not 1 over 5. And if is the factor 5, so it is greater than 1, so it is horizontal stretch. Like here, if it is greater than 1, so it is stretch, like the vertical. If the factor is greater than 1, so it is stretch. If the factor is less than 1, so it is compression. This rule is applied on both the vertical and the horizontal stretch. But what is different in the vertical and the horizontal stretch? That in the horizontal stretch, the factor is the inverse of the factor that is already written. So if it is 1 over 5, so the factor is 5. If it is 3, so it is 1 over 3, like the reciprocal. Reciprocal, right? Do you remember, girls, the reciprocal? So it is the reciprocal of the number that it is written here. Okay, girls? So again, I use the reciprocal for the horizontal stretch or compression. The factor is the reciprocal of the number that is multiplied by x, which is under the radical sign, which is in the radicand, Reflection is the easiest one. If there is a negative sign multiplied by the whole function, so it is reflection across x-axis. If the negative sign is multiplied by x only in the radical, under the radical sign, so it is reflection across y-axis. Okay, let's open together page 372 to answer some questions here. I have number 8. Describe the transformation. Okay, I have square root of x minus 7. Minus 7. So here I have k has a negative value. I go back to the table. I will find it. It is the first rule, vertical translation. So it is up or down. The translation is up or down. I will decide the translation is up or down according to the value of k. K here is equal to negative 7. K is equal to negative 7. So it is vertical translation 7 units down. Vertical translation 7 units down. This is the answer for number 8. Okay, what about 9? 3 square root of x. So there is a number multiplied by the whole function a. If a is greater than 1, it will be stretch. So it is a vertical stretch by factor of 3. So a here is equal to 3. So it is vertical stretch by factor. Okay, let's see here number 10. Square root of x minus 5. The radical itself has the rule which is x minus 5. X minus 5 under the radical sign means that it is horizontal translation, and h take the opposite of the sign that it is in the equation. So h is opposite of negative 5, so h is 5. So when h is 5, so it is a horizontal translation to the right. Horizontal translation to 5 units to the right. Should be written here to the right. Okay, this one, it has two transformations. Half square root of x minus 1. So half a number multiplied by the function. A number is a, and when a is less than 1, when a is less than 1, a is equal to half, which is less than 1. When it is less, when the factor is less than 1, so it is compression. And also I have here, it is vertical compression. Vertical compression, because the number that is multiplied by the function is multiplied by the whole function. So it is a vertical compression, and it is translated also vertically, vertical translation. The k is -1, so it is vertical translation 1 units down. Let me write here k is equal to -1. So the transformation here is vertical compression, because a is less than 1 by a factor of half, and it is also vertical translation 1 unit down. Where you should see it well, here it is. Okay, here also we have two transformations. Okay, both are for the function under the radical sign. So there is a number multiplied by x, which is 1 over 3. 1 over 3, not for the whole function. No, it is multiplied for x only. So it is stretch or compression. The factor will decide it is horizontal stretch or compression. So 1 over 3, reciprocal of 1 over 3 is 3. So when b is 3, so the number that it multiplied by x is b. When b is 3, so it is stretch. So I will say horizontal stretch by factor of 3. Again, here the factor is the reciprocal of 1 over 3. The factor here is called b because it is horizontal stretch or compression. Horizontal stretch or compression. The factor in the horizontal stretch or compression is b. The factor in the vertical stretch or compression is a. Now we have horizontal stretch or compression. So the factor is b. The factor is the reciprocal of the number that I have here, 1 over 3. So the factor is 3. So b is 3, which is greater than 1. So when b is 3, which is greater than 1, so it will be stretch, horizontal stretch by factor of 3. It will be horizontal stretch by factor of 3. And I have plus 4. I have plus 4. So it is horizontal translation. Horizontal translation, so the factor is h here. The units that it's translated is h. Okay, h here takes the opposite of the sign that I have here. So h is -4. So if I want to write here the transformation that happened, I will write it here aside here. Answer of 12 is the first. I have horizontal stretch by a factor of 3 and horizontal and horizontal translation. H is negative, so it will be to the right. 4 units to the left. When H is negative, so it is to the left. This is the answer of 12. Okay, 13. Let's solve here 13. Okay, I have negative sign multiplied by x under the radical sign, not for the whole function. So it is reflection across y-axis. So let me write first. Reflection across y-axis. And x minus 3. So it is a horizontal translation. H is here 3. H is here 3. So when H is positive, so it is to the right. And horizontal translation 3 units. To the right. Okay. Okay. Number 14, there are 3 transformations. How did you know, teacher? Because I have negative and 2 multiplied by root x, and I have negative 4. So how we're going to write it? We're going to write it like this. Number 14. When I have negative sign multiplied by the whole function, so it is reflection across x-axis. Reflection across x-axis. And 2 factor multiplied by the whole function, so it is vertical stretch or compression according to the factor greater than 1 or less than 1. 2 is greater than 1, so it is vertical stretch. And vertical stretch by a factor of 2. And negative 4. Negative 4, it is vertical translation when k is negative, so it is vertical translation 4 units down. Let me write here the values of the factors. A here is 2 and k here is negative 4. This one. And for number 13, I didn't write also the factors. H is equal to 3. Okay, girls, let's continue. I will erase, so I will have a space here so I can write. Okay, I will solve now 15. 15, I have negative 2 multiplied by x plus 2. So I have a negative sign under the radical sign in the radicand multiplied by the x. So it is a reflection across y-axis, and I have a factor multiplied by x. It is 2. So it is horizontal compression or stretch. So step by step, when there is a factor multiplied by x, not by the whole function, so it will be what? It will be horizontal stretch or compression. And when it comes to horizontal stretch or compression, I take the factor. The factor will be the reciprocal of the number. So step by step. So again, I will say the factor is multiplied by x. If it is multiplied by the whole function, so it will be vertical stretch or compression. But now the factor is multiplied by x. So it will be horizontal compression or stretch. Compression or stretch, it will depends on the factor greater than 1 or less than 1. Greater than 1, so it will be stretch. Less than 1, it will be compression. But in the horizontal stretch or compression, the factor is the reciprocal of the number that I have here. So I have 2, so the factor B is 1 over 2. And I have also x plus 2. So h here is equal to opposite of the sign, so it is equal to negative 2. So if I want to write here number 15, I will write it like this. 15 is equal to reflection across y-axis and horizontal now the factor is half. Half is less than 1, so it will be horizontal stretch or compression. Compression by a factor of half. And I have here also horizontal translation 2 units to the right, to the left, sorry. Each time I got confused. To the left, because h is negative. Okay, 16. 16 also is a mix. Okay, 16. Factor multiplied by the whole function, so it is vertical compression or stretch, and the factor is a. A here is 3, which is greater than 1, so it will be vertical stretch. Vertical stretch. Okay, x plus 3, so it is horizontal translation. H here is equal to opposite of the sign, which is negative 3. And I have all plus 3, so it is vertical translation, so k is equal to 3. So if I want to write it here, I will write it like this. Number 16. Vertical stretch by a factor of 3. And h is equal to negative 3, so it is horizontal translation by a factor of, sorry, horizontal translation 3 units when h is negative 3, so it is to the left, negative. And vertical translation, k is positive, so it will be up. I think, girls, we solved today so many problems concerning the transformation. I hope you got it and you got the idea well. And we're done from today. See you on Sundays. On Sunday, we're going to revise for the test. So please try to attend and to study well. Thank you so much, and see you on Sunday, and have a nice weekend.